What's up, fight fans? I haven't said that one in a while, but welcome back to the channel. Good vibes only today. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the UFC as a whole, okay? Because I've seen a lot of kind of the bigger YouTubers in this space and in this community really kind of dissect what the UFC looks like right now and what potentially could change, what could happen, and how the kind of sport is at the moment. I've been no stranger to how I kind of feel about the UFC at the moment. It's a bit stale, it's a bit dry, and I'm going to be breaking it a little bit down about what's coming up in the UFC to really look forward to, and how things can really change, and why Jack Della Maddalena needs to absolutely KO Belal Muhammad to get this chain of events started, to get it in motion. So we'll start there. We'll start with the importance of JDM for beating Belal Muhammad. So we all know Belal Muhammad is like one of the most disrespected champions in the history. I respect Belal. I think he's a good fighter. He's a great fighter. He's done incredible things and he's got an incredible resume. That does not mean he's entertaining. That does not mean the fans have to enjoy this guy. That does not mean the fans like this guy. That doesn't mean the fans find a connection to this guy. They don't. The fans don't like this guy. Jack Della Maddalena is everything that the fans like. A boxing heavy fighter that's coming out there to punch you away, okay? He's completely stand-up fighter, okay? He really doesn't fuck with the grappling. Even though he submitted Randy Brown, I believe. I'm pretty sure he submitted him. He got him with that absolute vicious combination. Randy Brown did that fucking emote. And then JDM just took care of it. If we could get someone like that as a champion, I think that would be like the start of things becoming great again. Because you'd have incredible fights like Ian Gary, Shavkat Rakhmonov. And I just don't think those fights would be incredible with Belal in them. You know what I mean? I don't think they would be as entertaining as if it was a JDM fight stylistically. And I feel like JDM is really in that prime position now where he's got to take what's his. Okay, Belal Muhammad is no easy task. And I'm picking Belal to beat JDM. Unfortunately, I wish I could just pick JDM. But a lot of these big MMA YouTubers are picking JDM. And I see a lot of people in this space picking JDM. I'm not going to hate on anyone because I love all of these massive YouTubers. Like, I'm a YouTuber. These guys are the people that we all look up to as young YouTubers. Like, kind of smaller YouTubers. So all these boys picking, I'm not saying you're wrong. Actually, I am saying you're wrong. I think you are wrong. I do think Belal is going to win, but that doesn't mean there's just got to be beef. You know what I mean? Obviously, they're not going to beef for me, but I think if JDM gets the belt, I really think that's a good look for the UFC. This boxing heavy striker, he doesn't say much. Okay, so sometimes he comes out with nice liners, but he doesn't really say much. He kind of is a bit calm, cold, collective. Yeah, let me fist you the token. That was terrible. That was absolutely terrible. But he does exactly that. People get mad hype for JDM stylistically because that's how he fights. And I feel if we get him as champion, fuck me, welterweight is so back. But as long as Belal has that belt, welterweight is never going to be back. It's never going to be back. And you know what it is, actually, yeah? Belal actually does good at talking trash. I think Belal is actually an underrated trash talker. I really do. But that does not mean I'm ever going to root for Belal. I probably won't ever. Okay? I respect him, but I just don't think he's... As a fan, I don't like the style that he brings or anything like that. You know what I mean? It's just not my cup of tea towards Belal. And there's other champions like Pantoja isn't really a trash talker, but a very good stylistic finisher. I do love Pantoja with the belt. Now, a lot of people mightn't like that take, but I honestly think Pantoja as a champion is actually fucking banging. I really like Pantoja as champion. Then you have like, you know, Merab. I don't like Merab at all. I've made that clear. I'm not going to get into it. I hope O'Malley chins him, because if O'Malley chins him, brings insane hype. We're going to talk about that as well. Actually, we'll get into this. So, after the UFC 315 card is quite mid, okay? I think we can all agree 315 is actually pretty mid, okay? Then you have Marlon Moraes versus Gilbert Burns. That was meant to be on 315. And if that was on 315 with the Benoit Saint Denis and Joel Alvarez card, that would have been a pretty sick card, okay? There's like some decent fights. Like Paul Craig's on there versus Bellato. I don't even fucking... I forget how to pronounce that guy's name. Sadiq Yusuf's on this card. You know what I mean? Gabe Green, Jared Gordon, Thiago Moises on a prelim. Like, when you're looking at that saying, oh, that's actually quite an exciting fight, you know you're kind of cooked. You know you're kind of cooked. Jared Gordon, Thiago Moises. Like, that's actually, it's an okay fight. Like, do you know what I mean? No one really cares. Then you have Macy Barber versus Aaron Blanchfield. like, 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 who, who asked for that? And who's gonna watch that? It's not fun. It's not entertaining. And to have that as a main event, I don't care if that's in fucking Allegiant Stadium or the Apex. That thing has no place for a main event. Then you have UFC 316. Juliana Pena, Kayla Harrison, obviously, is the co-main event to Amalia versus Marab. You have Vicente Luque, Kevin Holland, Kevin Gastelum, Joe Pyfer, Marlon Vera, Mario Batista, Bruno Silva, Joshua Van. Actually, a very good card. Johnny Walker as well. Quite a decent card. I do like this card. There's like a few good bangers. Joe Pyfer, Joe Piper's been talking about someone. Anyway, he's fighting Kevin Gastelum. Kevin Holland versus Vicente Luque. It's like a 6.5, 7 out of 10. But I'm looking for these banger cards, like a 314 or even 311 before the pullout of Arman Sarukian. I was so excited for that card. I was so pumped. You had Jamal Hill on there, Umar, and then you had Makachev versus Sarukian. That was the whole thing up until Moicano came in. But cards like that just seem so few and far between. And it makes me really hyped to one. We don't even know who the headliner of International Fight Week is. Okay? And I do believe a part of that is because of the fight of the weekend. We don't really know. Makachev might say, I'm moving up. And he's gone to Australia before, so I don't think he'll have a problem going to Australia to fight. But you see 318, Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. That's a good fight. UFC 317 is in like 7 weeks, June 29th, and we just have no date. 6 weeks even. Fuck it, 6 weeks. We'll say 6 weeks. Fuck it, why not? 6.5 weeks. And we just have no main event. It's a fucking disaster. There's no build-up to fights anymore from the UFC. There's no promotion. There's just nothing there for me to really like get mad stoked about. Do you know what I mean? I remember Max Holloway and Ilya Poirier did like a Zoom call. I would love to see them do that in like a face-to-face. Or, you know, we did, what do they call it? Seasonal press conferences. So whenever a pay-per-view is announced and stuff like that. We didn't get that for Holloway versus Poirier 3. I know they wouldn't chat match shit. We got it for Marab versus O'Malley. But we all know O'Malley's got no on-the-mic skills. Okay, the dude just has no on-mic skills. Like he's like a fucking deer in the headlights when he comes out on a stage and has to talk, which is shit. Like, I think JDM is the start of the UFC getting better, but I don't like the fact Dana White's in boxing. I don't like Dana dipping in that Turk money. I just don't like it. I just think we're waiting on Tom Aspinall and John Jones. We're waiting on Islam Makhachev, Ilya Topuria. We're waiting on these massive fights. The UFC is kind of boring at the moment, and you're promoting boxing. Like, is that really what you want to do? Then go and do that. I would not mind seeing Dana White out of sport now. I respect the fucking shit out of that guy. He's done an incredible job with this sport. You know what I mean? He's done some superb things to get it where it is today. He's gave me some of the most funny moments, okay? And the dude is just a fucking G. I love Dana White as a person. He's an absolute legend. But a wise man once said, leave the football before the football leaves you. I would hate to see UFC fans really turning on Dana. Let's say Dana kind of is like 50-50, 50% UFC, 50% boxing. Okay? Fans are going to turn. And if the UFC doesn't get any better with the amount of, you know, cards that they're producing, the quality of cards that they're producing, the UFC fans are going to be pissed. And I will be pissed. I'll be just like, man, what the fuck are you doing? Like, we're waiting on these massive fights and you're here promoting Canelo versus Crawford. Okay? I've no problem if Dana wants to go into boxing. But you can't be the UFC president, the face of the UFC, while standing there with Terence Crawford and Canelo. And I guarantee you say, yeah, of course, who the fuck are you? Of course I fucking can. Why aren't you making these big fights then? Why aren't we getting that picture of you, Tom Aspinall, John Jones, looking over fucking this massive balcony and you there? And then when we sit down face off to really pump the start of this card. That, let's say this is on 3/17. Okay, let's say hypothetically speaking here. Why don't we have a seasonal press conference and a face-to-face? That's what boxing does, which is great. You ever see the Chris Eubank Jr. versus Conor Benn one? They did a press conference and a face-to-face. I think that would do millions, and get so many people hyped. Imagine Tom just being like, you're fucking ducking me. That is dreadful impression. I'm not even going to try it. Tom just being like, you're ducking me. yo, you're a steroid cheat. Because he said this stuff online. He's like, I think you're a drug cheat. And then John Jones is saying some, you know, random steroid shit. That would be insane. That would be insane. Okay? That would be absolutely crazy. And, you know what? You mightn't like Ian Gary, but I do respect his antics on Fight Week to kind of keep his name relevant. At least mix it up a little bit. He's putting like signed M&M bags or some fucking shit like that. It's just fucking stupid, but at least it's funny, like, do you know what I mean? At least it gets a bit of fucking banter going. The UFC is not dead, obviously, and I wouldn't even say the UFC is dying. It's just a bit stale, but it has been stale for a while. That's the thing. It has been stale for a while, and I've said it on this channel quite a few times. Months back now, to be honest with you. Back last year, I was saying this. The UFC's just gone stale. The champions that we all love and know are losing. Alex Pereira is a prime example of that. Magomed Ankalaev is not the people want with the belt. Belal Muhammad is not the who people want with the belt. Is Merab. I want to say this as well, okay? A lot of people are like giving Merab the biggin, but the only reason that Merab entertained you in that last fight is because he was beating Nurmagomedov. If that was anyone else, bar Umar, if that was a Corey Sandhagen, you probably wouldn't have found that entertaining. I just think that's true. It was definitely a big step up from his fight, but I think the fact he was 2 rounds down as well definitely does help. But I think the fact that he was 2 rounds down and was beating Umar Nurmagomedov with Khabib in the corner is what made that fight, like, fans love him. And obviously that's why, but like, it makes it, the fight actually entertaining. Do you know what I mean? I genuinely, because you look at the Sean O'Malley fight, you look at the Henry Cejudo fight, you look at the Peter Yan fight, you look at the Jose Aldo fight, boring as fuck fights, in my opinion. If you love cage control, which apparently all the hardcores love now, okay, you can't be a hardcore now if you don't like boring grappling. It's fucking bullshit. That you've got it all wrong here, mate. Boring grappling is the opposite of what fans want. Don't give me this bullshit, oh, go watch boxing then. That is bullshit. That's not what this sport is about. Boring grappling. We want to see KOs. We want to see mad submissions. We want to see fucking banger fights. I don't want to see you win by holding someone up against the cage. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. JDM needs to get this done against Belal Muhammad. JDM needs to get this done against Belal to get things going, to get the promotional aspect things back. We need to get those stuff back. A lot of people have talked about it, and I just wanted to come on here and kind of say a few words because I just love talking about this. Like, I could sit here and talk about it all day. I love this sport. I love talking about shit like this, what I think and stuff like that. Thank you. If you've watched this far, then you clearly care and you clearly enjoy the conversation. So why not just give it a smash of a like and a subscribe? JDM, get it done, my brother. Get it done. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.